I think because it had the golden halfway on one half. That sounds good.
Yeah, if you've never used them, it's actually
It is freezing cold. We've had some kind of a cold front come through. I see temperatures on the Drakensberg. They're talking about -10. And here it's been like 4 or 5 degrees in Namibia. Who knew that could be a thing? I'm being a little bit silly in that I'm in probably the hardest stretch of the descent into the canyon.
My layers coming off. Look how bad it's going. Alright. I'm gonna have to change shorts.
It is, I don't know, 8th or 9th of June 2025. I've been excited about this one for a while. Beautiful views. It's warming up and no wind. We had rain and wind and all sorts of drama on the way in yesterday. So we're gonna take it easy down. Oh God. See where we get to. Yeah. Can see why I've done this one so many times and why I'll do it again if I get a chance. Absolutely love this hike. Almost down, gotten hotter and hotter as we've walked. The party's split up a bit. I guess a couple of minutes I'll be down the mountain. It's absolutely beautiful.
perfect amount of steps.
Okay. Just now you were saying you've got enough for us. Ah, and there's the arrows. Don't find out soon, but
Where did Donnie go?
it's still done good. God, look at this.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. There was all this stuff before the week.
Yeah.
I reckon they should do a thing where they take a photo of the contents of your bags before you go in, and then you can report any rubbish you find, and they just cross-reference it using ChatGPT or AI or whatever. Yeah.
The big thing for me on this hike is you can't split the distance equally into the 5 days of walking. You can go so much faster on the last 2 or 3 days than you can on the first. So the idea is just keep plugging along.
Like hiking, running,
Yeah.
walking in the sun.
Yeah. Well, we can.
Neat little remnants of garnet. They sort of worried about the red mineral, metamorphic mineral. So if you didn't already know from the layering that it was a metamorphic rock, you now definitely know. garden do you have stuff in there? Outdoor, no one uses that much.
Okay, so
So
that's
we
where we'll
can-
fit all of our stuff. All the mats, the tent, the sleeping bags.
So, yeah, I'd probably do that case to Edinburgh and then go to Loch Ness.
Right, so the end of day one. We have our tent set up. First time I've done fish with a tent. We bought these nature hike tents, super light, 2.3 kilograms for a tent. That's pretty amazing. So the fourth time to do fish. How does it feel? It feels amazing. It's just such a beautiful hike. No cell phone signal, dead quiet. I suppose you could say, like, why would you do a hike 4 times?
Sam, also this little
But if you find a meal you like, you eat it more than once. Well, I do. And I just really love this hike. There's something about it. It's not the most difficult hike. It's actually fairly easy. But it's just such an immersive experience. And we've got such a fantastic group with us. I think we're 7 people. The interesting thing is we've got Irena. She's in her 20s.
Okay.
And then we got Evan, her partner. He's in his 30s. And then we've got Lindy and Sam. They're in their 40s. We've got Jeff, who's in his 50s. Me in my 60s. And Pete Richer, who is Lindy's father, who is in his 70s. So we have every age represented from 20-year-olds through to 70-year-olds on this hike. They're really nice people. It's a really nice hike. Has there been any drama? Yeah, there has. Like, all of us have got upset stomachs, or just about all of us. That has been a little bit unpleasant. And the weather. And I've never known it so cold in Namibia. I mean, it was this morning. I think it was 4 or 5 degrees, and the wind was absolutely howling. I know it's winter, but we do this hike every year in winter, and it's never this cold. But at the moment, it has been cold. But now the wind has died down, or there's no wind in the canyon anyway. I don't know. But it's perfectly still. I'm wearing a light down jacket. We went for a swim. The water is ice cold. And it's actually a really pleasant evening. We're about to start cooking. What is the time? I don't even know. It's quite early still. This is the furthest we've gotten on first day of any of the times that we've done fishing. For various reasons, we've always stopped a bit earlier. The first one, we were with other people. We didn't know the hike at all, so we stopped when they stopped. The second one, we split up from the people we were supposed to be with, and we were waiting for them, and they just didn't turn up, and we waited and waited and waited. So we stayed quite close to where you enter the canyon. On the third hike, we had people with us that were really struggling, and we just didn't get far enough. And today we got plenty far enough, and we stopped because, well, why not? We could probably push on, get through the place quicker. But for what? I mean, it's not a race, and it's nice to spend the time. And Lindy has said she would like to do it in 6 days and actually walk even slower, really, really enjoy it. So yeah, supper and bed. What a fantastic way to spend a day.
No, because it's the one thing I can cook.
Working on it.
Weaponized incompetence.
Asked me to do the laundry.
Well, last night we said we would aim to leave at 8:30, and it is now 8:27. The thing in Namibia is they were on the same time as South Africa, and technically they should be an hour later. So although the watch says 8:30, sun time is 7:30, and in these canyons the sun comes up late. So it's dark. You start getting ready, making coffee and stuff in the dark. But finally, we're up and on our way. And everybody seems really cheerful. Everything has gone really well. My legs, honestly, today are a little bit stiff from the descent and from carrying a little bit more than I'm accustomed to, I guess. My weight was up at around 22, 23 kilograms, and that descent, man, it can hurt you. Anyway, walking along here and trying to, it's going to end in a fucking disaster. Anyway, I often have difficulty filming as I walk, and I have actually fallen several times trying to film. But this hike, it's a nightmare. It's just such tricky walking, sand, rocks, and I'm trying to see what I'm shooting. I'm trying to walk, not paying attention. I'm going to end up falling at this rate. So for me, this is really what makes this place just so unique. I don't know anywhere where you hike over terrain. The silence, the isolation, the absence of cell phone signal.
Wow.
God. I've been trying to catch up. Oh yeah. No, I think the route was fine.
I think that one that's at that.
Can you imagine trying to get that thing down into the canyon?
Do you think they came down with the Buddhist prayer flags on them already?
No, that's been added later.
Second day, yeah, it's characterized by very broken terrain. A lot of scrambling over rocks and looking for roots, interspersed with quite thick, loose sand. So they're going to be quite slow. But we've passed the Vespa. Usually we only hit that at about mid-morning or midday on the second day, so we're doing all right.
My dad's born in 31.
The canyon has opened out already, flattened a little bit. So the walking has become a bit faster suddenly.
Quite apart enough that you can skip.
We are getting close to Palm Springs. I think first we've got the escape route, which is just around the corner here. And here's the emergency exit. Easy to see. I've heard it is actually really difficult. And when you think that you're going to use it in an emergency, it's going to be quite challenging. But when you got it, right? And there's a ton of water in the river this year. And I think I had a friend who did it last year and had to carry so much water that she was carrying 17 kilograms in her backpack. And it was absolutely bone dry, apparently. And then you just jump there. Yeah. That's it. We can stop here and have lunch. Put our feet in the water.
Sun? Too hot, apparently. Hey, sweetheart.
How's my breathing? We're at Palm Springs. You can smell quite an unpleasant smell. I don't like this place. The fish seem to like this though.
Hey?
You can see the steam coming
Yeah.
off.
Fish are hanging out.
Oh, that's hot.
You see the sulfur?
Yeah.
Well, you smell the sulfur too, don't you?
So Lindy 4K still camp.
So let me show you around our campsite. This is the laundry. We all just had a swim and just rinsed off clothing. Not using soap in the river because you don't want to cause some kind of an ecological catastrophe. This rock over here is our kitchen.
That over there, it looks a lot like what I remember Arizona
Oh,
too.
is it?
The end of day 2. There are two sort of well-known landmarks on day 2. One being the Vespa, which we got to quite early. I suppose it was about 10 o'clock. And the other one is Palm Springs. I don't really have opinion on these things. I mean, the Vespa, that doesn't seem like a big deal to me. Palm Springs, I've never been that fond of. Smelly place. The hot water, I've never swum in it. It seems to me that those two particular landmarks are of little consequence when compared to the rest of the canyon. This place is extraordinary. It's so quiet. Yeah, so we've had difficult days before on day 2 where we came down and people really struggled and where we were really tired. We didn't quite make the distance we needed to do on day 2, and that put a lot of pressure on us for day 3 and day 4. So that hasn't happened this year. We haven't rushed, but it feels like we've done quite well. No one's been hurt. Everybody's fresh. Everybody's still cheerful.
Yeah.
Attacking warriors and humble warriors. Same idea, okay? But the back of your front foot is in line with the arch of your back foot.
And step further apart. Like a big,
Nice
like
big.
as wide as you can.
Okay.
You can sort of work it out. So when you come forward,
We're getting up in the dark because we want to get that earlier start, and I think sunrise here is about 7:20. Last night it actually got quite cold and windy. Full moon, incredibly bright. Start of day 3. The most immersive day. When we think back on yesterday, all we did was walk in the canyon. When we think ahead tomorrow, all we're going to do is walk in the canyon. And today, all we're going to do is walk in the canyon. So at this point, it starts to feel just like it's forever, in a good way. Yeah, so the markers yesterday was the Vespa, Palm Springs. We're a few kilometers away from the 20-kilometer mark today. And day 3, there's no real big markers. What we do have today is the start of the shortcuts, which we will be taking. I know that sometimes people say, oh, you want to follow the river the whole way. Frankly, it gets tedious for me. The other good thing about the shortcuts that you don't really think about is it gives you a different walking experience. You really feel like you're traipsing through the desert. We do need to make sure that we have enough water before leaving the river and heading out on the shortcuts though. Honestly, I don't know exactly where we aim to get to. We've done this hike often enough that we just keep walking and give it the time, and we'll get to wherever we need to be. There's never a shortage of places to find that are nice to camp or to have lunch. So the mornings are a little bit cold with that cold front that's come sweeping through. We are still swimming in the evenings. And well, swimming might be overstating it a bit. Plunging in, rinsing the worst of the salt of natural fuss. We are following all the rules and are not using soap in the river. We're not making fires. We are not flying drones. We are not leaving litter.
So drones here, whatever the term is,
Day 3, we've only done 20 kilometers of 86. And this is where you need to keep your nerve. And that is because it does get faster and faster. The first 2 days, there's very few places where you can walk along like this. Absolutely bombing along. And I'm looking at my Garmin. I'm doing 5.1 kilometers an hour. And I'm not really catching these people ahead. So there's day 1 and day 2. There's places where you're moving at 1 or 2 kilometers an hour. Definitely make it.
How did the no talking for the first hour go?
Great.
So this is what I meant about walking in the shortcuts and not staying with the river. It gives you a different view. I don't think it's worse. To me, it just offers variety. You get a little bit more sense of the space, and you're also not concentrating so much on not breaking an ankle. I got to constantly remind myself to look at what I'm doing with my feet, not just at the viewfinder of the camera. I've actually had some quite nasty falls trying to do this, so I think I've gotten a bit better at it, but I tend to get excited about filming, and then anything can frickin' happen. You get an idea of what I'm having to deal with while I'm filming, trying to keep the camera steady. I'm shooting with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is incredible at stabilizing the footage. It's got a built-in gimbal, but still you try to keep it as smooth as possible, which also adds to my issues. Yeah, I see it. I remember it now. This is hard actually. We've just arrived at the first shortcut. You can see the cairn on the top. Yeah. We've done about 9 kilometers walking distance so far today. We need to do about close to 20, I imagine. There's a lovely echo here. Hey! Hey!
So at lunch,
It's a nice lunch spot.
Lunch, eh? Good stuff. Not a moment too soon.
So this last time was where we stopped at the end of day 3 on the beach opposite. We're about a kilometer away from where we're going to camp tonight on one of the shortcuts. Long, hard, hot, dusty. You can see the others coming in just below us. So all the way along the top of this ridge you can see this black rock, and that's a dike where lava forced its way through. There's quite a few of them here. We're going to step over this one. To step over it. Look at that. Almost fell over it. This is the 40k mark. I meant to film it, forgot. Anyway, here we got the people walking past 40k. So we've seen 20, 30 and 40k markers today. Pretty good going. Our campsite for the day.
I think Jeff's going to have a rough time on at this camp.
Why?
There's not a rock in sight for him to... Yeah, I think I can see our track.
Yesterday we passed the 20 kilometer, 30 kilometer and 40 kilometer mark. We started very close to the 20 kilometer mark and we actually walked 19 kilometers yesterday. So the thing is the markers in the canyon don't quite match the distance because you take shortcuts. So we slept, I suppose, about 45 kilometers into the trail. Yes, about 45 kilometers in. But having walked 19 for the day on us, and we slept on a sandbank. It was, it was very sandy. A nice camp, quiet. as these places usually are. Fantastic company, the whole day fantastic company. We really are doing well on the trail today. No one's been hurt, no one's grumpy, everybody's cheerful. Everybody's really appreciative. When it gets a little bit hard, somebody will inevitably say, but look how beautiful it is where we are. And that is true. So today we woke up again at 6, it's our routine. By 8:30 we were on our way. We have coffee, food, and no rush. We just steadily plug our way through. It takes 2.5 hours to get going. Quite slow really. I think 2.5 hours is quite slow. But there's 7 of us, so yeah, and everybody at their own pace. We all slept in tents. Yeah, very social. Everybody's very friendly. There's no squabbling. There's no funny undercurrents which you can get on hikes, right? So today, what do we have today? Day 4. I think today's the day we go past the Pink Palace. We've got lots of shortcuts today. We need to do 18 to 20 kilometers, I think. It shouldn't be too difficult. We're all on track. Packs are feeling a little bit lighter. I've suggested to everybody to carry a little bit more water because we do end up some distance from the river at times, and as this cold front has gone past, the days are definitely getting warmer. So today's a day where you can be a distance from a river and find yourself thirsty, so carrying more water than we have been. Good idea. So that means a little bit more weight, not a biggie. So the weight of the packs is down because we've gone through quite a lot of our food now. Anything else to say about today? I don't think so. Another day in the canyon. Wonderful.
You guys smell the wild sage?
Now you can go past, but do not get bitten by it. Yes. It's the best.
It's so strange. Like the 4th time we're doing it. I don't recall this bit at all. Like, how does that happen? Go.
Dos. Enough.
Is it personal with the day? No, just generally.
I know, but if you choose yourself.
we told you about the German's grave. It's the end of, towards the end of actually.
This is such an impressive place to be.
What about it?
Always for me a bit of a startling moment when you get a road and a little bridge. Big palace closed, like it has been on every hike. Actually, I'm quite pleased because it's something about breaking the whole thing tomorrow to stop here and have cool drinks and things. It takes away some of the excitement of tomorrow for me. This is our last campsite. I'm a bit concerned there might be people here. It seems to be completely empty.
Not advice then on me.
Can I start to take
So last night was our last camp. We camped at exactly the same place as we camped at 3 years ago when we last did it, and we had rain on that particular occasion. So fortunately this one was a really beautiful evening. We got a short push today, 15 kilometers, mostly a trudge as I remember it, to get back to ice and the end of the hike. Everybody's looking forward to burgers, cokes, you know, the normal stuff. So how did yesterday go? Fairly easy overall. Some big shortcuts. Walked past the pink house which was closed. Arrived at our campground quite early. I think it must have been about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So about 2:30, 3 o'clock sun time. A very leisurely evening, had a good swim, made our food and got to bed early, just normal. Such a lovely evening, very quiet. Yeah. So today, the last day, you know, there's always that sense of excitement that you're going to finish, that you made it. Also with this hike, a sense of sadness that it's over already. Although it's the fourth one, I'm already thinking, would I do it again? I would actually do it next year again if I could. So let's get this out of the way and see how it goes. We start off with quite a steep uphill on a shortcut. My legs are actually a little bit tired today. And it's a long trudge on sand. I can see the others up ahead. So the idea for me today is not to rush, not to push at pace, but just to enjoy the last day in the canyon and try not to get resentful on the last flat bit when you start to see infrastructure, and just wish it would end. So this is a bit of a bugger up because we couldn't cross there, it's too deep. So we're going to come up here and cross, and somehow we're going to make our way back along the bank through that little jumble of rocks. Can't say I'm thrilled about it. It's good. Under promise and over deliver, isn't that a thing? We've just passed the 80-kilometer mark, which means we should have 5 kilometers to go. And I don't think we do. We've got more than 5 kilometers. According to our GPSs, we've done considerably less than 80 kilometers, but that might be because we've taken the shortcuts. I don't understand the markings. Anyway, I guess 80 means nearly finished, and that's where we are.
I know. But the good news is, Sam does.
We're heading off from what I think will be our last break. We have done about 7.5 kilometers. We've probably got about 8 to go. 7, 8, I don't know.
The competition was way better than.
And our first glance of the infrastructure. Always a sign that you're really close. I guess we're about 2 k's away. And at the moment, this is just unpleasant. Trudge, trudge, trudge.
Just up ahead.
This is, from our experience, the most fatal part of the walk. And that's it. The climb out of the canyon. Done.
Careful, because you've been filmed.
I could have died back there. No one would even have noticed.
You're going to have to add context.
Bunch of buggers. Thanks, everybody.
Well done, Martin. Thank you for leading us.
Well, Lindy.
How's that?
Awesome.